Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Maverick here, and today we are going to be going over basically all the bad stuff from the Battlefield 2042 beta thus far, from what we have been able to play and engage with. Now, don't get me wrong, I do absolutely love the beta so far from what I have played. There is a lot of awesome things in the game, and I cannot honestly wait for the game to fully release at this point. And in a way, I wish the beta would just run until the game fully releases, personal opinion. But with that, there's definitely a mass load of issues with the beta or gameplay problems with the beta, and I'm going to be going over those today. So the first thing that I do want to go over is the identification of enemy soldiers. Thanks to the specialist system that DICE has included into Battlefield 2042, friendly and also enemy soldiers are blending together very badly thus far. Thanks to the lack of nation uniforms to be able to tell the difference between a hostile soldier and a friendly soldier, and the only thing to identify them is if they have a dot above their head or not. It is constantly leading me into situations where I and also other players in game are ending up shooting each other, and even in clustered areas with tons of friendly soldiers, specifically on top of the rocket assembly building. Enemy soldiers are blending in with the rest of us and no one is shooting that person whatsoever. I'm also running into situations where I'm not even shooting enemies because I misidentify them as friendly soldiers. Again, because of the specialist system, everybody looks exactly the same on both sides of the match. It's a problem. And this could potentially get worse with skins once the game fully releases. Now, on to another issue with 2042 is the game doesn't feel as team-oriented as previous Battlefields. Honestly, it feels even less team-oriented than past titles have. And I don't just mean that people is not playing the objective, because that's normal for Battlefield at this point. What I mean is no one is resupplying ammo. I have not seen a single medkit whatsoever in the beta. I don't even know what the medkit even looks like right now in the beta. All I know is what the ammo crate looks like, because I'm the only one that's been throwing ammo crates specifically for myself. And medics are still medics, but honestly, medics are even worse this time around compared to the previous titles. Even in Battlefield 5, where medics were somewhat neutered thanks to SMGs lacking range, at least I found myself being revived in Battlefield 5 by medics quite often. Now, I have seen some people making comments on the Battlefield Facebook page and also in the Battlefield subreddit that people aren't medicing anybody or reviving anybody because supposedly they can't tell who's who. That's not necessarily true, because when you're the medic class or specialist, you can see a big blue orb over somebody that is dead or dying and needs to be revived. The only thing that I see anybody using as a gadget or anything for that matter is just rockets. Aside from that, the only specialist that people are primarily using is the assault specialist, because you can grapple hook anywhere and move through the map faster, and the other one is the recon specialist, mainly because of its passive ability to sense people that are nearby. The third most used specialist I've seen is the medic specialist, but no one revives with her. Everyone only heals themselves, and that's basically it. The majority of what I see people using are just rocket launchers, both anti-air and also anti-ground vehicle. And speaking of ground vehicles, that's our next point as well. Compared to air vehicles, there seems to be a very large lack of ground vehicles. At least this could just be a thing for the orbital map. It could be different for other maps. But there's a lack of armored ground vehicles that are roaming around on orbital, at least. There's plenty of jets that are flying around, and there's plenty of helicopters that are flying around as well. To be honest, at least on Orbital, I can't go 2 minutes without seeing a helicopter swooping by doing a strafing run on me and most of the people that are around me. It's almost best to stay away from clustered areas because helicopters are commonly flying around those areas. And since we are on the subject of vehicles, I'm not sure if this is just specifically a thing for the beta itself, but vehicles, ground, and also air are missing vehicle loadouts or a vehicle loadout screen. Again, not necessarily sure if this is just beta specific and they are going to be adding it later on. I believe that they are going to be adding it later on because I have seen charts of different modules that can be installed on a vehicle, or if you just have to be in each different specific seat on a vehicle for them to use those different abilities. Since like in the main battle tanks, you can have up to 4 people in a single vehicle. Now we are almost done with the vehicle subject, but the last thing I did want to get out about vehicles are specifically with aircraft, and also more specifically with aircraft controls. To me, this could be different for you depending on what your mouse sensitivity is or if you are playing on console, but at least for me, using mouse and keyboard controls, aircraft controls feel very stiff and they require a significant amount of input for aircraft response even with high sensitivity. I'm finding myself having to significantly move my mouse a decent distance on my mouse pad in order to make just the slightest amount of adjustments, and when I do make that adjustment, I end up normally overshooting where I want to aim or fly or any of that. The little birds feel like they have a little bit more control when it comes to this because they're a little bit more nimble and everything, but when it comes to trying to take out infantry with the miniguns, I kind of still run into the same issue where I'm overshooting where I want to aim. And both jets and also the helicopters both seem to kind of suffer from a issue of almost an auto leveling system. Now this could be specifically with helicopters. There is a control for flight assistant. I have pressed this button multiple times while flying helicopters and it doesn't really seem to do anything for me. But whenever I am trying to fly in a straight line from point A to point B and I'm angling the nose down, the helicopter seems to keep wanting to pull itself up to level itself out. And this is also kind of true for jets as well, where I'm trying to keep the nose down, aiming at whatever it is I'm trying to aim at, and the aircraft feels like it's trying to pull up on its own slightly. Not necessarily sure what is the cause of all this. I do not know if this is some sort of like flight sim type element that they've added into the game specifically for jets. It would make more sense because of direction of wind and the trim of your aircraft's control surfaces. But this being in a Battlefield game doesn't make any sense at all and doesn't have a place. But aside from gameplay design for aircraft and ground vehicles, I do want to move on to another gameplay element within 2042, and that is with weapon customization. Now, I do not know if the current weapon customization with the Plus system is just specific for the beta for customizing weapons, or if there's a complete lack of a weapon customization screen in 2042 altogether. We do know that we're going to be able to apply skins to weapons, but I don't know if this is going to just be a cosmetic change, and whenever there needs to be a attachment that needs to be added to a weapon or customization to a weapon at all, if it has to be done in game or if it can be done in the menus. Which I'm sure we will be able to make presets for weapons when we load in, so we don't have to re-customize our weapon every time we get into a new game. Which brings us to the ammo situation with weapons in 2042. I don't know if some of you actually noticed or not. I didn't notice initially, but I figured it out as I kept playing, and that is ammo is split up between the different types of ammo per weapon that is available to you to use. Let's take the LMG that is available in the beta. Altogether, it does have 400 rounds of ammunition, but the issue is that those 400 rounds of ammunition is split up between the two types of ammo that is available to it: normal, FMJ, and also AP ammunition. 200 rounds is for FMJ and 200 rounds is for the AP ammunition. And the problem with this is that if you're using FMJ and you run out of it, well, you're out of FMJ and you have to switch to a ammo type that does less damage to infantry and does more to vehicles. And sure, you can bring an ammo crate along with you, but that ammo crate takes up a slot where you could have a rocket launcher to deal with vehicles in a more effective way, or bringing a med kit, which nobody uses. I feel like the way that this should have been implemented is that you just have a mass pull amount of ammunition and you can switch between the different types of ammo just from the one pull of total ammunition that you have. It's just basically switching the type that you want to use, giving you the availability to use 400 rounds of AP ammunition or 400 rounds of FMJ. Even with all this negative info though, it does not mean that I hate the game in any form or fashion whatsoever. These are just issues that I have came across while playing the beta for the short amount of time that I have been playing the beta. And of course, these things can be fixed or changed when the full game releases, which at this point we have just over a month before 2042 officially releases, giving DICE ample time, I believe at least, to fix most of what these issues are within the game. But if you do want to know how to break 2042, then click on the video in the outro right now.